Yeah. No, of course there's nothing to be happy about here. But the law just doesn't give us too many choices. Yeah, bye.
That didn't sound like it went well.
No. The situation is this. The evidence has been sent over to Renault's lawyers, who will now seek a writ of habeas corpus that will in turn go to a judge who will look at it, rubber stamp it, and then Renault walks.
Come on, that is completely unacceptable. I will not have that monster roaming free in the streets of Port Charles.
How do you plan to stop him?
Watch me. As soon as possible, then. Okay, thank you.
You're going to keep me in suspense or tell me this plan?
I will when the time is right.
You know I hate to be blindsided.
Okay. Mac is out following up leads on the warehouse and waterfront shootings in hopes that he can somehow tie that back into Cyrus Renault.
It's more than likely he won't be able to, but full marks for optimism.
The goal here is to keep Renault locked up long enough for Mac to find enough evidence to have the charges against him stick.
Let's assume for 1 second that you succeed in keeping Renault in Pentonville. We know he can run his organization from behind bars.
I said keep him locked up. I didn't say Pentonville.
Hey,
Hey, how did it go?
as we expected. Cyrus Renault is a narcissist. He made several veiled threats, took pride in his reputation as a dangerous man, and then he took exception when said reputation was minimized.
So can you lock him up?
He's unquestionably sane, and under ordinary circumstances, I would be opposed to committing a sane man to a mental hospital.
But these are hardly ordinary circumstances.
Which is why I'll have no problem advocating he be transferred to a psychiatric facility with medical supervision.
Kevin's your plan?
How much of that did you hear?
Well, enough to know that it won't work.
Kevin's recommendation can have Cyrus Renault transferred to Ferncliff.
How long are you going to keep him there?
Long enough for an extended evaluation.
Look, all we want to do is keep the guy out of circulation long enough for the PCPD to establish a fresh case against him.
Renault's lawyers are going to look at this and see it for the ploy that it is. To keep him behind bars when his sentence has already been vacated.
Yeah, and we will just argue that we wanted him to get the care that he needed.
But no doctor is going to argue that this is in Renault's best interests.
It's exactly what I'll argue.
Okay, Robert, I am not above doing whatever I have to do to keep this man off the streets. And that includes having him committed to Ferncliff.
It's not going to work.
What do you suggest I do, Robert? Sit back and let the guy go free?
The justice system's not perfect, but we can't just disregard it.
We're not. Even if there were no personal connection between any of us and Renault, even if he were some random vendetta-less drug lord, and the body count was made up of nothing but strangers, this is still a legitimate course of action.
There's nothing to be happy about here. But get used to the fact that Cyrus is gonna get out. And when he does, you're smacking his crosshairs for what you did to him at Pentonville.
I'm not worried about myself.
Well, I am.
I'm worried about the city of Port Charles. I'm worried about the spike in drug trafficking. Look, if I can't have him put into Ferncliff, then are there any other options to delay his release?